The Republican establishment decided to go nuclear on Rand Paul, and it's quite a thing to witness. So earlier this month, if you remember, Mother Jones surfaced a 2009 video of Paul speaking at Western Kentucky, and in that speech, he called for non-interventionism like he usually does, and he said that Dick Cheney and Halliburton got rich from going to Iraq. Now, that's just a stone-cold fact, but you know how the Republican establishment dislikes facts. So these guys went after him. Wall Street Journal columnist Brett Stevens isn't too happy with Rand Paul, so he wrote an article where he says that Rand Paul is the perfect candidate for 2016, quote, because maybe what the GOP needs is another humbling landslide defeat. You get it? You get it? I said he was good, and then I was saying how I don't think he's good. It's a joke. I think you guys like it. Yeah, very witty, man. You're really on top of your stuff. He says, Rand Paul's views are more problematic than potential 2016 rival Jeb Bush's stance on immigration and education. Of course, Jeb Bush is the only not insane Republican on the issue of immigration. He actually is in favor of some kind of legislation. Chris Christie also, he says Rand Paul, his views are more problematic than Chris Christie's role in the Bridgegate scandal. So he's really swinging, quote, when moderation on a subject like immigration is ideologically disqualifying, but bark at the moon lunacy about Halliburton is not, then the party has worse problems than merely its choice of nominee. Well, look, you're preaching to the choir about the Republicans having really deep problems. I cover that on a daily basis. But the idea that Rand Paul rightly calling out the Iraq war and saying Dick Cheney and Halliburton profited from that, that's just a fact. That's one of the few good things that any Republican has said in the past decade. So good on him for doing that. But some people came out even harder. National Review writer Rich Lowry, he said, quote, Rand Paul has dewy-eyed foolishness and blame America First libertarianism. Paul's instincts sometimes seem more appropriate to a dorm room bull session than the Situation Room. The default position of the GOP is still towards strength, and the party will instinctively recoil from the distorted view of America implicit in some of Paul's more impolitic statements. Now, Lowry uses as evidence there, he points to Paul's positions on the recent conflicts in Syria and Ukraine as proof that the libertarian-leaning senator is out of step with the party and the American mainstream. Now, I find that hilarious because you guys know, man, I'm no fan of Rand Paul, okay? I'd say about 60% of the stories we do where we cover him, it's us slamming him. Maybe, you know, there are some stories where we cover him in a positive light, but that's usually just to protect him from even stupider people, okay? But in this case, they're taking one of the few things that he's good on, one of the few issues where he's right, and they're attacking that. I mean, it's such a joke. So how can I back up this statement here? Well, I went to a Gallup poll. Republicans who favor war with Syria, 31%. Only 31% of Republicans favor war with Syria. 58% oppose it. And this guy's arguing, oh, look at Rand Paul, so naive. Look at him arguing not invading random countries that we have nothing to do with. What a crazy person. Dorm room politics. Look at his dorm room politics. You're the one that's like sitting in a dorm room and bullshitting. The American people don't agree with you. The real world disagrees with you. How can these guys so arrogantly argue to continue to do interventionism when it's been such a colossal failure in every way, shape, and form? We wasted $7 trillion in Iraq by the year 2053 when all is said and done and you calculate the interest and whatnot. $7 trillion, what do we get out of it? We got nothing. Even people like Bill O'Reilly now, when he interviewed Dick Cheney, he was like, yeah, why did we really do that? We have nothing to show for it. Then you got Afghanistan, then you got the 900 military bases, then you got the no bid contracts that go to Boeing and Raytheon and just looting the treasury. I mean, you want to talk about welfare? Okay, let's have a conversation about the defense contractors. They get more welfare than anybody. But these people are arguing, the Republican establishment is arguing, oh, are you kidding me? Non-interventionism is so stupid. It's so childish. No, you're the ones that have the childish view. The overwhelming majority of the American people don't agree with you, and they agree with Rand Paul. And then also on the issue of Ukraine. It's even less popular to get involved in Ukraine. 16% of Republicans say we should consider a military option. 16%. And again, this guy's like, oh, Rand Paul, he doesn't want to get involved in Ukraine. Look at this guy, what a lightweight. Obviously, a serious contender wants to invade every country in the world 36 times over. Look, again, I'm no fan of Rand Paul. I attack him on a regular basis. But there are a few issues where he is more sane than other Republicans. Okay? One of those issues is war. Another one is drug policy. On a handful of social issues, he's better. So to have these guys highlight the one area where this guy is saying something popular and attack it, dig that grave a little deeper. They're just digging it deeper. Keep on digging, man. Keep on digging. You'll hit the other side of the earth if you keep going. This is what's happening as we speak to the Republican chances to win back the presidency in 2016 if they continue to take such absurd positions.